This is quite a sensitive topic, but again, we're going to talk about it a bit. You see these preachers calling out other preachers, or video content creators calling out preachers for heresy or heretic messages or wrong messages, like, oh no, this is heresy, this is against this, right? I think is causing more harm than good, or more harm than we want it to, right? It's causing more harm than good. Here's the thing. At every point in time, I can say this boldly. At every point in time, every preacher is preaching a passage of the Bible out of context. Is preaching some form of heresy. Because number one, the Bible has to be interpreted, right? Now, there are, again, laws of interpretation, right, of the Bible, which you get to study if you go to Bible college, right? Or you just got to learn on your own. But even at that, at every point in time, now don't forget, this Bible that we have right now has been translated many times, right? That's not the point. At every point in time, every preacher is most likely taking a part of the Bible out of context, and that is wrong interpretation, because you have to interpret the Bible within the context that it was written. If you're calling out people, or even the people calling out the pastors, you are probably preaching something wrong, because the spotlight is not on you at the moment. You feel like it gives you the right to call out preachers, right? I just think it's ridiculous. I don't see anything good that comes out of that, because if you think that you're calling out heresy to help believers to know what is true and what is false, it's counterproductive, because how you help people really know the truth is by teaching them the truth, not necessarily exposing the lie. When you teach them the truth, when they see the lie, they would know, because they know enough of the truth. So when they see what is false, they would know. I don't know how true this story or this example is. I heard someone give this example on something entirely different. How when they are training, is it bank tellers on how to spot fake currencies, fake cash, right? They give them a lot of the original and then add a few of the fake notes in between, right? And when they're counting, their hands, and they are so used to the original that immediately they touch the fake one, they will just know this is fake, right? And then they just keep counting. The thing is, when you are exposed to the truth a lot more, you would know what is false. Now, am I saying that if we see wrongdoing and injustice, we shouldn't call it out? Of course not. Injustice, wrongdoing, we deal with it as a family, right? Again, as a family, because this idea of social media and everything does not take away the place of the local church, right? All of that being said, my point, let's not do what we think we are trying to achieve and then shoot ourselves in the foot in the long run, right? Because with what you're doing, with what these people are doing, of trying to call out wrong preaching or wrong teaching, you are inadvertently, again, showing how divided we are. And it's so funny, because what I always ask these people, whenever, again, in my head, of course, I don't have access to them, so what I always ask is, how long have you prayed for this person? If you feel like this person is a Christian, a believer, and he's being heretic, how long have you stayed on your knees for this person, for this preacher? How long have you prayed for this preacher? And here's something that will help you. Because you think you know what is right does not give you the right to correct them. And I know this, we have social media and it gives you access to go online and just say stuff. You have freedom of speech, right? It does not give you the right to correct them, because again, there is the order to things, right? If you don't have access to them, say you don't have maybe their email or phone number, or you don't have their address to go to their church or something, right? You really are not the one to correct them, really, right? Because again, God can take care of his church. That's number one. Number two is, you think that you know better because of where you're standing from. if you really want to help that preacher or help that individual Christian that you think is being heretic, the best thing you can do for them is pray for them, and not standing in front of a camera to point out the wrong that they're doing, the heretic message that they are sharing, right? Pray for them, and then you teach the truth. So if they are preaching heresy, you preach the truth while praying for them. But this attempt to sound more intellectual and more biblically grounded, because the Greek word of the word that was used in the Bible doesn't mean squat. I'm sorry, it doesn't mean, I'll bleep that one out. It doesn't mean anything, right? Pray for them. If you really are that passionate about them being heretic and it's going to affect the people you care about, people of God you care about, pray for them. Anyhow, my name is Dave, and I hope this was noteworthy. I'll see you around.